4 things. Yes, 4 things on my list. The 4 things I've learned about fasting. So 3 fasts of 5 days and 3 refeeds.
The Fasting Diaries of Joanna Ruth, number 6. 4 things I learned about fasting.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. Today is a Monday, and I'm in the beginning of my 4th round of 5 days of fasting and 2 days refeeding. So if I look a little tired, it's only because I have already slogged it out in the pool and gone for a really long walk with my dog already today. So this week, other than letting you know that everything has been successful, and feeling great. And I'm just having a look at my fasting diary to let you know that I am at 111.3 kilograms after refeeding for 2 days. And I started at the beginning of February, so that's 3 full weeks ago, at 118. So I have realized that the first week was a bit of a shock to my body, and that there was probably a lot of extra water weight loss, which comes back on when I eat. It's very interesting because I'm eating carnivore, and you would think that the inflammation just drops out, but it doesn't. Not in my body anyway, especially when it's warm weather, which it was the last 2 days. But it didn't really go up more than 1 kilogram from the Friday weight, which was 110.3, and then it was 111.1 on the Saturday morning, 111.3 on the Sunday morning, and still 111.3 on the Monday morning, which was today. My ketones are good. They didn't drop completely out, but they did go from the highest on the Friday was 4.3. They did come down to the lowest being 0.7 on Sunday morning. So I am now working my way back up again today. So they're about 1.5, 1.7 in the middle of today, which is great. It won't be long, and they'll be up in the 2.5-ish range, and then hopefully by midweek they'll be up 3.5, maybe hitting 4. I'm not too concerned as long as my brain is sharp and the energy is flowing. I'm all good. So I was very excited to get back into the fasted state. In fact, throughout my refeed, and I'll talk a little bit more about this in the topics that I'm going to cover today. But yeah, I decided to eat breakfast, like the entire amount of food that I set out for myself for the remainder of the weekend. So on the Friday, I set out the nutrients that are needed to fit in over the 2 days. And of course, Saturday is a bit hard. I've got to eat soft things on Saturday, and it is really tough. I started Friday night with bone broth and some chicken wings in the bone broth soup. That was too much fat for my body. It just had a bile flush, which was kind of exhausting. And then Saturday, I spent quite a bit of time sleeping, actually. So my body was taking its time to do the digesting. It really did slow my body down. And after having like high power superpowers during the week, being slow on the Saturday was a bit of a letdown, really. But it was good rest. I felt really quite lovely rested. And I did swim on the Friday. So I slogged out the muscles on the Friday. So there was probably a lot of taking advantage of those proteins that I'm putting in my mouth. So the refeeding was every weekend that I refeed, I'm less impressed with the refeeding. I'm doing it better. I'm not doing a poor job. I'm learning every time I do it. And I didn't have, stomach ache or pain or problems really, other than the too much fat in the soup that I had. But truly, I don't know. I really like the fasted state. I'm kind of getting into it now. Because I do it Monday to Friday, it's kind of like part of my working week routine that I just don't have to bother with food. And never realized that not only does it give you freedom, but it's also like I don't have to spend any time in the kitchen other than feeding my dog and filtering water and putting it into the fridge and then going getting it out of the fridge. I don't have to prepare food. I don't have to defrost. I don't have to think about what I have to prepare. I don't have to cook it. I don't have to eat it, and I don't have to clean up. I think I'm saving at least 2 hours a day by not eating. And I like it, not just the laziness, not just the laziness of not having to deal with that job, but I like how I feel. I really don't care how much my stomach talks to me anymore. I'm really la 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 not listening, and because my brain is yeah, good kind of fire going on in my brain. So what I wanted to talk to us about today is, I think I wrote 4 things. Yes, 4 things on my list. The 4 things I've learned about fasting from my 3 weeks of 5-day fasts and 3 refeeds. So 3 fasts of 5 days and 3 refeeds. Yes, so let's talk about what they are. Number 1, I like fasting. That's what I've learned. Number 2, food is losing its magic. This is very important in my experience. Number 3, ketones are like rocket fuel for the human. Number 4, we store more nutrition, micronutrition, than we know. I'm absolutely sure of it. So let's go back to number 1. Why do I like fasting so much? Well, there's a couple of practical things that I really like about fasting. Like I said, I don't have to spend time in the kitchen. My kitchen doesn't get dirty. I don't have to clean it. I'm saving water. I'm saving fuel for cooking, electricity, and opening the fridge all the time, and all that. It's very environmentally friendly to fast. And yes, I like the habitual nature of it. So I'm quite a I don't have a 9 to 5 job. I do all different kinds of contract work. And some of it is coaching, and some of it is songwriting, and some of it is to do with my cultural activities. And I get all different kinds of funding, and I just sort of patch it all together. But it means that I have to, and I've had to do this for many, many years, so I'm very good at it. I have to create structure in my week so that, well, if you have a 9 to 5 job, then you just have a routine. You get up, you do your thing, you have the certain clothes that you wear, you go to your job, you see the same sort of people, you have an expectation of what you have to get done during the day, then lunchtime, then more work, and then you go home, and then you have your evening routines. And most human beings are like that. In fact, we like novelty to just jump a little bit outside of our routine, but we like routine. If you give a person a non-routine life, they get overwhelmed really quickly. So if you're one to get overwhelmed, learn to create routine for yourself. It's a really clever way to do it. So I like the habit of fasting. I like the fact that I know on Monday morning, and I don't know what's going to happen when I get all the extra fat and proteins, the lipidemic proteins off my body. I'm not quite sure what's going to happen because I really love this habit. I might have to create a different habit, just alter it a little bit, but I love waking up Monday morning and knowing I have no commitment to food the entire week. I can do whatever I want. I've got all the energy that I want, and I don't have to feed myself. I don't have to go shopping. I don't have to think about it. And we'll get back to why that's such a wonderful thing in my perception. So I like the habitual nature of it. I like that it reduces my scale weight and reasonably quickly. I mean, I'm a really impatient person essentially because I'm gung ho, all in, want to get things done. I'm a complete abstainer. So when you're a complete abstainer, you're also all in. You're either all in or you're all out, one or the other. And if your personality requires you to be all in or all out, then fasting might just be for you. So I like the fact that I get on the scales and I just write it down. And in a normal, say if I was doing intermittent fasting, I wouldn't have the lipidemic tissue loss because my body wouldn't be forced to break it down. And I probably wouldn't lose as much body fat because a lot of it's trapped inside the lipidemic tissue. It's a double-edged sword there. So fasting is definitely for me. And if you have lipedema, have a think about priming yourself to do fasting psychologically and physically so that you have the solution. That's what we're after is solutions. So I love that it's a habit. I love that it reduces my scale weight and I'm getting stronger as well. So I'm encouraging my body to build muscle to create more demand for eating up the lipidemic tissue, as well as the fasting doing that as well. So I know I'm getting stronger, and I'll talk about that in a minute. Um, oh, I have it listed here. So there are two measurements of my strength that I use currently. One is in the pool, in the swimming pool, how fast and hard I can go. Now, that's a little bit relative because as I get smaller, I can go faster. So I have to use it as a slightly subjective measurement. But I have another measurement, which is this hanging bar that I bought, and I just have it set up. I have one room in my house is dedicated to my far infrared sauna and my vibration plate and my rebounder. And in the doorway, I have a hanging bar, which is you twist it and it gets tighter. And me, 110, 11 kilos, can hang off that bar. If you put it tight enough, it won't slip. And you can do, I think, up to 100, like over 200 kilos. That's the weight bearing capacity of it. So I bought it on Amazon about a week ago, and throughout the day, I hang on it. And in the beginning, I could just hardly lift up my feet because it's not just about how heavy you are. This is only a week ago, and I don't think I had that much less weight on my body a week ago. 110, and I'm now 111. So I'm a kilo heavier. I'm a kilo heavier now than when I got the bar. Um, However, now I can not just hang on to it and lift my legs up, I can hang on to it and swing backwards and forwards, backwards and forwards. So I'm creating motion because that's fun. It's also harder for your muscles, but I can feel all the muscles through my shoulders and the front of my chest are actually, when I'm hanging like this, I can feel all of these muscles activating. So every day, multiple times a day, I hang off that bar. And so I'm encouraging my muscles to get stronger. And that's a really good measurement for me because my upper body is way weaker than my lower body. And for me to be able to hang on that, my hands are getting stronger, my shoulders are getting stronger, and I'm not lighter. So it's definitely the muscles getting stronger, which is really, really important for me because I don't I don't intend to be thin and inactive and waif-like. I mean, I'll never be waif-like, but I don't intend on having no athletic muscle on my body. I like being athletic. That's why I need to be smaller because I like that as a lifestyle. So, safe to say, I like fasting and I have the habit of this 5-day fast, and I may adjust that to be longer. And we'll talk about that in a sec. So, number 2, food is losing its magic. Okay, this is so, so important for me psychologically that food is losing its magic because food, I perceived that food was a solution to anything that happened out of the ordinary. So, because my story had me being heavier and fortified because the world is full of pressure, I had to eat. So the reasoning to eat is, well, your stomach grumbles. Oh, I need to eat. I feel a bit tired. Oh, I need to eat. Um, that smells good. I'm going to eat. Oh, I did a really good job. I need to eat. I'm going to celebrate with food. Oh, I'm having a really hard time. Someone was nasty to me, or this is really rough and I'm just struggling with something. I'll eat. So all of these, no matter what the situation, there was always eat, and I come from a Jewish family. Jewish families always eat. There's always food and eating. Gathering means food and eating. So food had a kind of magic, but at the same time, it was a compulsory kind of magic. So I was compelled, propelled, just like I am now into fasting because the state in my body doesn't suit the physicality of my body now. I want to go faster. I want to move more. I want to be able to go here, go there, have lots of energy, not get tired. I want to be able to train in the pool and then go for a run or a bike ride or just not need to rest. And I can kind of do that when I'm fasting, but I'll be able to do that when I'm smaller and stronger and not necessarily fasting. So food is very quickly actually, because this is only 3 weeks. I have to remember it's only been 3 weeks. Um, I'm just not excited by food. And I think that my refeeding experiences, so being fasted for 5 days and having really positive experiences, and then refeeding for 2 days and it being difficult has been quite persuading. So the thought of eating, if I think, oh, what will I eat? All of a sudden my stomach feels like a little bit like not a rock, but a heaviness in my stomach. And that translates to you have to slow down and rest while you digest. And that's where I'm at with that. So food has definitely lost a lot of its magic. I can't imagine a situation where food at the moment, with all this access to what I've eaten before, I can't imagine a state where, unless the access is gone to the energy, like my ketones drop out for some reason, and I'm actually brain tired because I haven't got any fuel coming through, I think that's the only reason why I would be enticed to eat right now. Because the story that's running, that's creating a state in my body, requires me to change my body. And the only way I'm going to change it is by not giving it what it would like me to give it, because it would be easier for it. My body would find it easier if I ate, but then I would be tired and I wouldn't have all this rocket fuel. So I'm sure when I'm smaller, the story will be different. I'm sure my body will give me signals when it's like, we would like to eat now. We want to refuel a little bit. Can you fill up a little bit before you go back to fasting? And I don't think I'm going to see that for like 2 months. I don't think I'm going to see that for maybe 2 months. Maybe earlier if I don't refeed as often. Yeah, the flow will happen faster. Number 3, ketones are like rocket fuel. They really are. The brain power that I have experienced is off the charts. And I'm very much a brain-driven person. I'm a creative who also has the ability to be practical. And so I have like whole brain function going on a lot. But aside from how fast my thinking has become, there's this other side effect of the brain power, and I notice it because when I'm refeeding and I don't have as much energy available to my brain because I'm digesting, this energetic feeling that I feel in my body all through the week just drops right out. And it feels like a mood enhancer. Like my mood to go do things just drops out, and I have to rely on habit. So when when my body's busy digesting, I do feel much lazier. And it reminds me of how I used to live when I had to eat all the time. My body was digesting, it was busy all the time. And so, with that in mind, when I do return to eating after all this fasting, I really do hope that I will be able to perhaps intermittent fast. And maybe if I work out how to do it, I can eat maybe every third day. So or maybe eat for 2 days and then fast for three, or just depending on how much resource I can pack on in those 2 days so that I can fast it off. Because the fasted state is really attractive to me. And especially until like all the lipidemic tissue is dismantled. Yeah, I mean, I really, really got my mind, heart, soul set on that. And I don't feel like I'm willpowering anything. When I tell people, I don't tell too many people because I don't really want to deal with their responses, but occasionally I mention it because it comes up. Oh, did you eat breakfast? Oh no, I'm fasting, so I'm not eating at the moment. Then some of them ask for how long, and they go, "Oh, that's risky," and I'm like, "You're a waif. It's not risky for me." Um, so as long as your electrolytes are high and you feel really well, then fasting is perfectly good. So the energetic feeling is really like it's motivating. It's really, really motivating. And I like that. I'm a really optimistic, motivated person. And I would like my body to behave that way. And fasting gets me there. So number 4, I suspect that we store more micronutrition than we realize. I think in our society, we have been led to believe that water soluble vitamins are the be all and end all of your nutrition. Um, Personally, I think minerals are the baseline of our nutrition. For sure, water soluble vitamins do something, they do. But if you have a look at, mostly they're talked about for antioxidant value. Um, I don't know. I'm waiting for some physical sense evidence to show me that, um, I can't grab enough of that through my carnivore diet, on the weekends or every second weekend. So and I am awake to the fact that if my body is needing something, it will give me cravings for it. I've experienced that before, and so I know that that can happen, and I won't deny it if it comes about. But I am definitely leaning towards longer fasts than the 5 days. Honestly, it's convenience and it's comfort. Um, I really feel good in the fasted state. While I'm feeling better in the fasted state than the refed state, I think I'm just going to stay there. It will get me to my goals quicker, which is great. It's a long game anyway for me because there is at least 40 kilograms minimum to get off my body. And then it's like refinements and change to body composition perhaps. But I will definitely end up sitting between 70 and 80 kilos. I don't really care what the number is. I just want a body that's really functional and healthy and fit and active. But I suspect, because I have been kind of down at that weight before, so I've been down at about 80 kilos, and I still could have lost more weight, probably another 10. So 70 is probably my optimum. I don't know if I get any lower than that. So from 118, that's 50 kilograms-ish. Yeah. So that's a lot. That's like 100 days of fasting. And if I fast on average 20 days a month, that's 5 months. So I don't think I will not refeed for 5 months, but I think I will probably leave it for 2 weeks. And that's what I'm leaning towards. I think I've been breaking the fast like for just in case, and for learning about the process of refeeding, and distinguishing between the fasted state and the refed state has also been really educational for me too. But I'm going to move from I think I should break my fast to I feel I should break my fast, and just see how that goes, which is where I was going to go with it, I think, after week 2. So I'm going to try that again, go with that and try with that. So that's it from me this week. Oh, I've done my photographs. Take a video that I'll take stills from in my in my skin tight skin colored outfit, and I think I look smaller in it. I mean, this is just from me looking at today's photos. I haven't compared them yet, but yeah, I think I do. I think a lot of the size that is reducing, even when the scale weight isn't, is to do with muscle composition. And to be honest, the amount of protein that I ate on the weekend was not that huge. I ate fish, had 2 serves of fish, and I had a little bit of steak, maybe half a serve of steak. I had eggs, good eggs, and butter. I think that's about it. I had a piece of salmon that had some whiting, and I had some pork rind crumbs as a crumbing when I cooked the whiting. So yeah, it wasn't an enormous amount of heavy protein. So that's it from me, back on the fasting train for the week. And don't forget that if you want to ask me more questions, you can leave questions in the comments here. Pass the video on, share it around if you find it interesting. That's pretty important. And like for other people, not just you. And we have the low to zero carb group on Facebook, which is open to the public, and then there's a members group. But for now, you don't need to be in the members group because I'm not busy, so I can spend time in the public group quite easily. You can have free kind of Facebook group coaching, and you can ask questions of how to, why to, or why not to. And if you know all the hows of how to fast, and you've done all the research, but you still can't get your body to do it, and you're in a situation where you do need to encourage the lipedema tissue to deconstruct, I can't see any other way other than fasting. I really can't. Like, I think if I could get rid of the lipedemic tissue and the body fat by intermittent fasting, I probably would. Because, you can get used to eating every day, or just eat at the end of the day and then you're tired anyway and you sleep. I just don't think there's another way to do it. So if you're in this predicament and you're trying to get your head around how, why, when, all of that stuff, come into the group and let's talk about it. Let's find out if there is a story that's creating a state of sluggishness or disbelief or like a state of failure. I don't want anyone to feel like they're a failure. I certainly don't ever want to feel like a failure. So yeah, I'm really good at finding the story and feeling the state in the person, and I'm more than happy to help. I've I don't have a lot on right now. You never know. I think things are going to change a lot after I get through this journey, and I'm documenting the whole thing, and I'm going on Dave Mack's channel the end of this week, so look out for me there. And we may have more people coming into the group after that. So get on in, say hi. It'd be nice to meet you in there. And yeah, have a great week. I intend to. Ciao for now.
Here's a playlist for the entire series. Please like and subscribe. It helps more than you know. See you in the next video.